Leo, Taurus is your sibling sign on the fixed cross. Leo is a fixed sign, and so is Taurus. Taurus rules the solar 10th house for the Leo charts. And this is the highest place in the chart. This is the place of the sun's greatest ascension. You can see here's the Taurus sun on the first day of Taurus season, right up in the top of the sky, illuminating the heavens. So this place in your chart has a lot to do with how you put yourself out there in the world and what in the world is compelling your growth. If we think about you as a seed that was planted in the soil of your body, this place in your chart is the light that is calling your life upwards. This is your growth path and trajectory. So Taurus season is highlighting these kinds of ideas, experiences, and longings and desires for you. There's consciousness right now around who you are in the world and who are you becoming. Who you are in the world gets to change. So you are not a fixed and stagnant identity forever. You are a growing, evolving human being, and you get to grow and evolve. And this is a season that really wants you to grow and evolve. There are big questions for you right now that are coming up around who you are and who you want to be, and how you are and how you want to be. And the feeling that I have is this is your life. How do you want to live it? If you were living a life that didn't ask you to fit yourself into anybody else's box, what shapes would you take? If you got to do the work that you want to do and you didn't have to worry about whether or not it would earn you money, what kind of work would you do? If there was absolute freedom for you to be absolutely free, how would you be? What would that look like, feel like, sound like, taste like? You know, this is a period of time that actually really needs you to imagine outside of what is normal status quo for you. This is a period of time that is asking for disruption and change in business as usual. And this is also a period of time that is highly rewarding for you when you do that. So if you are willing to take the risk to do something differently, to innovate, to experiment, to disrupt, then opportunities come for you. It can feel highly unnerving and destabilizing and scary to do the weird thing, to do the new thing, to do the different thing. I'm going to say that this is definitely a time when you are supported to take the risk. Do the thing, do it differently, change it up. The first week or so of Taurus season, Mercury is stationing direct in your fellow fire sign of Aries, just a couple of days after the Scorpio full moon, which highlights the cardinal axis or the vertical axis in your chart. This is a really powerful time of directional shift for you. My feeling is that a lot of you have been wanting to move in certain directions. You've been thinking about it. It's like you're inspired in a certain way, but for various reasons, probably a lot of really good ones, you've been feeling held back. And some of the reasons that are holding you back, I think, are purely psychological and emotional. They are grounded in fear and insecurity. And this is definitely a season that wants you to address that fear and insecurity. And to a certain extent, this means being with it, right? Like giving it time, giving it space, seeking to understand it. But then at a certain point, it just requires you to do the new thing. So if you're insecure about something, take a risk and just do it. If you're scared about it, try it anyway. This is a moment that is asking you to be courageous and to really take the risk to do the new and different thing. Some of you, the reasons that you haven't tried the new or different thing is because you think that you don't have what you need. This might be money. It might be like you're not resourced enough. This might be support from other people, right? You don't have the belief, you don't have the attention, you don't have the applause. There might be some other kind of resource that you think you need. Maybe you think you need a different kind of time. Maybe you think you need a different kind of body. You know, I don't know what you think you need. But try it anyway. Try it anyway is the motto, right? Just try it anyway. Be experimental. Be adaptive. Go DIY. You know, if you think that you don't have enough money to do something, then how can you do a smaller or different version of it? Maybe you can crowdfund something. Maybe you can do something that actually doesn't require money, but you know, it's like you weren't allowing yourself to think about it because it felt too risky to do it, you know, but it's like, well, you could try it anyway, you know. Some of you hold yourself back because you want certainty. And it's like you're waiting for something to basically promise that the red carpet is going to be rolled out for you because you're a Leo. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to take that risk to put myself out there unless I get an absolute guarantee, you know, that I'm going to succeed. Fuck it. You have no guarantee right now. Try it anyway. Try it anyway. This first period of time, this first week or so of Taurus season, you're in that kind of wrestling space. You're like trying to figure out how to try it anyway. And a lot of you might be quite gripped and you're like, but I can't, you know, and Leos are dramatic, right? So it's like, oh my God, but I can't. And like all the reasons why. But as we get into the month of May, you can. You can. And I think a lot of you will. As we get into the month of May, you are trying it anyway. And this is the time to really give it, like give it your all. My cat is running crazily through my house right now. She agrees, like try it anyway, you know, jump on it, take the risk, get wild, get playful. Now, as you try it anyway, as you put yourself out, as you take these risks, as you experiment, people are going to notice that you're doing things differently. And there will probably need to be some adjustments. So some people are going to be stoked, right? And they're like, oh my God, this new look, I love this for you, you know, and they're on board. And then you get to deepen into those relationships and into those commitments. You get to feel yourself supported in this new expansiveness and experimentality. And this allows you to change in the ways that you are relating towards more liberation, towards more authenticity, towards more freedom. And this is really exciting and invigorating for you. Some of you are going to get feedback from people that they don't like this change. And you then are going to need to work with the Leo ego, which is a thing, and your desire to be liked. And the reality that not everybody is going to like you and not everybody is going to like whatever it is that you're doing. And over the course of the rest of this year, until basically 2025, you're kind of in a place, I think, where you need to get comfortable with the new you. And I think a lot of you are working through some big psychological baggage around failure and failure to just like please everybody, right? Because not everybody is going to like you. And honestly, you don't want everybody to like you because a lot of people out there are people that you don't really like. you don't necessarily need to be hanging out with them. You don't need their applause. You don't need their approval. You don't need their buy-in. And it is important right now that you are discerning and that you recognize where you are changing for your own growth and vitality and liberation and happiness, and where you might be changing to try and win approval or gain stability or something like that. And I'm going to encourage you to keep trying to take the risks, because it's not worth it to abandon yourself to try and meet what you perceive other people want from you. And it is 100% worth it to take the risk to really realize who's actually there to roll with you in an evolutionary way. We have a new moon in Taurus on May 7th. This is a new moon that is, I think, for a lot of you, bringing up some scarcity issues. So what I was just talking about, like whatever is holding you back, you don't have the time, you don't have the money, you don't have the approval of someone that you need the approval of, or something like that. It's like scarcity issues are coming up and wanting to be resolved. Now, a lot of you were manipulated by scarcity issues, okay? And all of us living in a capitalist society have been manipulated by scarcity issues. Marketers use scarcity to brand us products, right? It's like, oh, you won't be loved unless you use this hair removal cream, right? Like there's not enough love for you as a person with hairy armpits, right? Like you got to use this cream so you're going to get loved. It's ridiculous, but if you watch commercials or if you tune into advertising, they're constantly manipulating us with scarcity mindsets. And they're leveraging our need to have meaningful connections and relationships and love and feel good about ourselves against promises of scarcity, right? In order to sell us things. A lot of us have been manipulated by family members, by partners, by friends, by employers, by authority figures, by religious worldviews, by philosophies, by patriarchy, whatever. It's like there's so much manipulation going on around scarcity. It's rampant. And so there are like very deep psychological anchors around how you think that you should be in order to get your basic needs met, right? Like in order to get love, in order to get food, in order to get attention, in order to survive, you have to like do all these different song and dance for people. And this new moon is going to bring up a lot of those issues in order for you to slice through them. You are seeing now that they don't hold any weight. You are seeing now that when you do that song and dance, that any kind of like the appreciation that you get back is hollow appreciation. Like you think that the validation that you're getting is love, but actually it's just more manipulation. You don't want to do that anymore. You're fucking done with it. You're done being inauthentic. But you also need to be shown where you're being coerced and manipulated into inauthenticity, probably by psychological phantoms, and psychological phantoms often have very real world bodies that they move through. So there might also need to be some significant detangling. The last week of Taurus season is a hugely liberating week. This is a period of time that feels like it is inviting you to really take up some new and different kind of space in your life. This is a period of time that is asking you to be bold, to be courageous, and to be a weirdo. Like, put yourself out there in ways that feel truly authentic to you. Leo, you're a clown. You know, Leos are natural entertainers. Leos are embodiments of like childlike brilliance and spontaneity and playfulness. And this is a time for you to really embody that, to bring that forward. This is a period of time for you to open your voice and open your insight. It's a time for you to recognize that on planet Earth, where 9 billion people are currently trying to survive, there's a whole lot of different things that people like. And, you know, someone out there is going to like the same weird shit that you do. So just put it out there, you know, be out with yourself, be out there with your freak flag flying. Leo, now is the time. Taurus season is calling you. Knock, knock.